G'day, Chief. Welcome to Career Crossroads, Part 3. Should I stay or should I go? It is an age-old question and it can get so tricky. What we've done over the last couple of episodes, we've just spoken a lot about, well, first and foremost, Part 1 was about getting into the right headspace, finding some clarity, getting away from the big city or your office, going to find a place where you can really listen to your soul and your heart and your head all together and work out what's right for you. We aligned to your vision as well, and we also did a little bit of work on working out what would be the ideal role for you given your current context of life right now. Then we took a bit of a break and we came back in Part 2 and we spoke all about identifying the real problem. Why are you feeling this way? Well, I mean, something's going on about either it's not the right job for you, the boss isn't right, the culture of the organisation is wrong, something's not right. So what we did in Part 2 was identify that real problem and get to a point where you should now be sitting here going, I know the next move. I've made my mind up. I'm either going to stay or I'm going to go. Now, big mistake a lot of people make now is they work out it's one of the two and they dive right into taking action. Right? We want to change that up. We want to make smart, values-based moves. Okay? We want to do this like a chief. Right? We want to make sure the next moves are really smart and help us live our values so we feel even better about ourselves every single day. So your mind is made up. If you haven't made up your mind yet, you're still going not quite sure what move to make, go back to Part 2. Okay, because here we are now at the start of Part 3. And what we've got to do is say, well, if we've decided to stay, what we've now got to do is work out how stay aligns to our ideal current job, which is what we did in Part 1, and the vision of the business. How do we shift this and fix the deal breakers through good conversation, through negotiation, through job change? So if we're going to stay in the organisation where we are now, we know something must change for us to feel like we love our job again. You made a list of those things in Part 2, and now what we want to do is make some options or work out what some actions are to help us make that change happen, right? It might be a conversation with your boss. It might be a salary negotiation. It might be discussion with a peer. It might be getting your team on board more. It might be trying to work out a way to lift the energy in the organisation, bring it all to a new level. So there's a stay thing here. And the step is work out, start brainstorming some ways you can go about this. Okay, right now we're not deciding what to do. We're just trying to work out and have multiple options. We don't want to be stuck with just one particular thing. Same with if you've decided you've had enough. You said, okay, I can't do the future here. There's too big a deal breaker at play. I need a fresh start. If you're at that place, what I want you to do is work out what would be the multiple kind of roles you could go to. As I said, go back to career vision, ideal current role. Don't just think about one role and be stuck on that being the perfect outcome. It won't be, right? Because when you get in that job, there'll always be problems again. What we want to stay here is what could be 2 or 3 or 4 roles in particularly different organisations or even within the current organisation I'm in now that would satisfy my ideal current role. So this step 1 now is saying, okay, I'm going to stay or go. I need some actions and I need multiple options because that leads us to step 2, which is making smart moves. Now you've thought about some things you can do, right? In step 1, work out what are the best moves that you should take and in what order. Now let me give you a quick example here. Let's just say you've decided to go, right? And you said, well, I could take on a job in a rival organisation at a similar level and hopefully it's a better culture and a better boss. I could switch industries, go to a whole new area, maybe re-educate myself, or I could change a role within my current organisation and look for a whole other area. But you've also decided that during that transition, you want to do some extra learning. You want to go and do a course at maybe do like a 3-day course at Harvard or something like that as a bit of a transition, or do some online learning or something to increase your skill set at this particular point. Making smart moves is about the transition from where you are to where you're going to be. You don't just want to dive in and rush straight into something. Think about how you could optimize that transition. I know a lot of people now are doing these mini breaks of careers, 3 months, 6 months, mini retirements, and they're fantastic if you can do it, right? So if you're able to do stuff like that, think about the transition as an opportunity because you might only get a few opportunities like that in life. One of the worst things you can do here is go, right, I'm out and just walk in and just quit on the spot. Okay, every now and then that might happen, but I know a lot of people who have then spent a lot of time on the sidelines without a job for 1-2 years, and these are high quality people. Particularly as you get up in really senior roles, there's not that many jobs. So you might find yourself sitting on the sidelines watching for months, years at a time with, and just be questioning, why aren't I getting a job? Then you're in another problem. So make this transition smart as much as possible. If it's okay and your values aren't being compromised too much, get another job before you leave now and negotiate how that transition is going to work. Okay, so get multiple options, get some actions in play, make smart moves, Chief. And this is the final principle I want you to consider. This is your mindset for this whole piece, right? Great chiefs become chiefs by thinking like a chief before they are a chief. Cryptic? Yes. What does that mean? It means if you want to be a chief, start thinking and acting like one right now. That is what will get you into the seat. Great CEOs don't become a great CEO when they finally get the job title. They've been doing it for years and years and years with other role titles. They're already a chief. And that's a mindset, and that is a way of operating every single day and every single week. Righto, Chief, that's part 3 of Career Crossroads. I hope that's helped you through a difficult time, and you've got a nice, well-planned, smart strategy going forward where you haven't sacrificed your values. You're living the very best of yourself in these difficult times. Righto, Chief, as I said before, there's a voucher for you on the Chief Maker Academy website. Just go to chiefmaker.com/game plan. If you type in the word legacy, I'll give you a $200 voucher to spend on that course. In fact, you can put on any course on the website you like. Righto, Chief, that sums it up for this week. And that's the end of Career Crossroads. As always, remember to stay epic.